So, hey Sagittarius, my name is Chris, and guess what? I just had a fantastic meditation. And I actually did not want to make a video today, but I just thought, hey, with this kind of meditation and this kind of inspiration, you totally deserve it. And it's your turn, Sagittarius. So I'm not doing the Celtic cross whenever you find this in 2026. There's the 10 of Cups and there's the King of Pentacles. Are you kidding me? A happy home, joy. You are being blessed, that's for sure. So that's a good combination, right? Yeah, wealth, abundance and prosperity and fortune after difficulty. That's kind of a really nice frequency. Could mean a lot of things, right? Especially when you find this video. Don't make it fit. Just take what resonates with you. There's the Hierophant and the Knight of Swords. So you take action. You're showing up really, really powerful with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles. And maybe that's a new role, a new job, but you know, this is not separated between, there's no separation between rationality and practicality, which is definitely the King of Pentacles, right? Down to earth, practical energy, getting things done, right? Having a plan, executing this plan, very rational, very earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo energy, that's for sure, right? Taurus energy even. You know, you just make it happen and you fight for it and you just push it through. That's the King of Pentacles, right? But you got this combination with the 10 of Cups, which is a much gentler approach, you know, resting within yourself, taking your home wherever you go because you're kind of at home within yourself, that kind of frequency. And then you coupled here through the 10 of Cups with the Hierophant. Hierophant is, of course, the spiritual teacher. And so you got this down-to-earth aspect and you got this spiritual aspect, but they all come together and work together, right? Fortune after difficulty. And it's time to really give it a go, right? So you have some blessings here and you have to work with these blessings. Don't ignore the blessings. Don't ignore the blessings just because other people don't see them. If you're talented, for example, when it comes to meditation, if you're talented when it comes to yoga, fitness, sports, whatever it is, right? We're kind of indoctrinated in this society to believe that only certain linear thinking skills are worth something, you know, mathematics, linear thinking, right? From A to B to C, causality thinking, that's 3D consciousness. But you know what? All these other forms of consciousness, they are there nonetheless. This is definitely 3D consciousness. This is, could also be, no problem, 4D consciousness, 6D consciousness even. So there's no contradiction, but this is grounded, right? In practicality, you get your things done. You're not just imagining things. You're not just in potentiality. You bring it down to earth. Could be 3D, could be 4D, 5D, 6D, you know, but the emphasis is on bringing it down into the real world. And this is where you get your inspiration from. But, you know, the Hierophant is also a leader who brings it down to earth, right? There's a teaching involved, and the teaching has everything to do with fortune after difficult, happiness, joy. And you just give it a go, right? Just give it a go. No more worries. There's the Empress and there's the Three of Wands. Let's just do. And there's the Nine of Cups. Like it a lot. The Emperor as well and the World card. Look at that. My God. 10 of Pentacles and the Star card. Are you kidding me? Sagittarius, this is an outstandingly great reading, and I'm not even sure where to begin. The fight is over. The fight is over unless you are participating in the fight. So the big message here would be to let the fight be over. Do not go back into fighting mode. Do not go back into taking the trap of some narcissist. You know, this is the fight that is over. It was a very dirty fight. Most likely, this card kind of screams narcissistic abuse, toxic, antagonistic people who really thrive on involving you into drama, into, you know, questioning your ideals, dragging you down to their level. They want you to fight. It's not about winning the fight, it's about they want forever war, right? These narcissistic tendencies, they thrive in chaos, they thrive in war, they thrive in conflict, in drama. That's how they get their energy. They get it from the external world. You actually can do both, right? So you can get your energy from your inner mastership that is here as well, right? You resting within yourself, totally in alignment with who you truly are, totally in alignment with your subconscious frequency. There's the foundation with the 10 of Cups, right? Inner mastership, all 4 queens rolled into one, and all that inspiration that you get from within, all that healing that you get from within, you shine it into the world as the Hierophant, right? That's a big column here of your reading. Then you got the Emperor. So you can call the shots. You can say what's what in the external world as well. Emperor, King of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. So you got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups, wealth, abundance, and prosperity. You manifesting what you want. 10 of Cups, that's happiness. Then you got the power couple with the Queen, with the Emperor and the Empress. King of Pentacles and the Hierophant. I mean, this screams for some clarifiers. But let's just take action, right? So that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to bring together kind of polar opposites in a way. So the inner and the outer, the world and the spiritual realm, you bring it together. Whatever you're doing, you wanted to do this. This is mastership on the table. Be done with something. Be done with the drama. Be done with the people who exploited you. Be done with the people who don't understand who you truly are. Be done with the people who try to project their shitty insecurities and, you know, shady aspects onto you. There are a lot of people who do this, who kind of thrive in that way. Narcissists, toxic people, antagonistic people. Some are really just too stupid to know what they're doing, right? But these people are around, right? Do not, you know, give them energy, right? Just be done. You don't be mad about them. Don't be disappointed by them. Don't even feel pity for them. They can't change, even if they wanted to. And they're just who they are. So be done. Be not mad. Be not disappointed. Be not, you know, whatever. Just be done with these people. And whenever you encounter them, then just disengage from these people. Don't even engage. Don't explain. Don't personalize. Nothing of the sort, right? Don't engage. Don't defend. Don't engage. Don't explain. Don't personalize. I say this again and again. Dr. Ramani, I learned all the freaking stuff I needed to learn from you. I'm going to link a video of her, Dr. Ramani, best teacher when it comes to narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I'm going to pick up her teachings here in these readings as well, but check out her channel as well. I'm going to link it at the end of this video. So just be done with narcissistic abuse and move on to something way better. So the world card at the end, you're waiting for your ship to roll in, and then you board one of these ships of your choosing, and then you're just going. And what are you going for? Happiness and fortune after difficulty, while you're manifesting the life, yourself, your talents, whatever you want to create in this world. There's the star card, wish fulfilled from the universe. I'm not even sure where to begin, right? Inner mastership, outer mastership, you and that's how you appear to the world, right? So you know how to be the King of Pentacles. You know how to do the practical things and build the stuff, right? And he's wearing an armor. He's sitting on a throne on, you know, he got some armor, right? He knows how to fight for something. And then you just, this is fantastic, right? So it looks like you achieved inner and outer mastery. Two, what did you do, right? What should you do? If this is a long-term reading, this is unfolding most likely in the next 20 years. That's epic, that's big, right? So what do you want to do with your life? Because you kind of can do whatever you want. So you really have to make up your mind. And the most important thing is that you keep the gateways to your subconscious open. No debris, no drama, no trauma, no BS of some narcissist, and you not disowning aspects of yourself. Meditation, breathwork every freaking day. That's like a workout, right? For your consciousness. And only if you do that, you get this power couple going. If the Emperor and the Empress, the inner and the outer, in harmony, working together, not working against each other. Yeah, it's time to move on from the old circle. The old circle probably was all about challenging aspects. So you got challenged, all kind of people tried to bring you down, all kind of people tried to gaslight you, question your reality, you know, try to tell you stories of weakness, and oh, you can't do that, and who do you think you are? But you're destined for something else. And cooperation, you're going to meet the right people, obviously, just by attracting them. Queen of Cups is here as well. Temperance at the bottom of the deck. I'm not sure if I'm making sense with this reading. I'm all over the place. So the big message here, what is on the table here, is really you made it reading, right? You made it reading. Never argue with a fool, right? That's the Five of Swords. But I think you learned this. You learned not to argue with fools. You learned not to argue with narcissistic, antagonistic people. You learned not to question yourself all the freaking time. You know, who do you think you are? Well, who do I think I am, right? You don't need permission anymore. You just go for what makes sense to you. That's very beautiful. With this reading, this shows up. I haven't seen this quote in quite a while. Stay humble, don't get cocky. With the Emperor and the Empress here, you're fully in your power. You're overcharged with joy, with optimism, with energy, with support from the universe, right? And honestly, the best advice that I can give you right now is not to entertain shady frequencies, not in the outside world, not within yourself. So shame, guilt, fear, no. Shame, guilt, fear, they have a function. So if you kill somebody, you feel ashamed of yourself, you feel guilty, you feel afraid of getting caught, But this is not a channel for killers or murderers or whatever. This is a channel for decent human beings, for empaths. And if you watched weird porn on the internet 10 years ago, you know what? Fuck it, right? This needs to end, right? There is, I just assume you're a decent human being. I just assume that if you resonate with my channel, you're more on the empathic side and you're overall a good human being, as good as you can be in this world, right? So you have nothing to hide, presumably, hopefully, I think so, right? If you're resonating with this channel. If you're gay, if you're trans, if you're something that others don't like, that's their freaking problem. If we're talking grown-up adults, consenting adults, good intention, nobody gets hurt. By all means, go for it. Consenting adults, good intention, nobody gets hurt. Go for it, right? And if there are tons of people who don't like it and who don't like you and who do you think you are and you cannot do this and come fight with us, we don't like you, don't you want to fight a few windmills, right? No, you don't. You got bigger fish to fry. You got to take care of what you want to create for your life because you made peace with yourself. So now you can act in the world out what is the expression of your highest potential. And you got so much support here. And if you just stay humble, do meditation, do breath work every freaking day, take care of yourself, be yourself a friend, and continue one step at a freaking time to go into that direction that makes sense for you. Do what is important for you. Do not ask for permission because there are so many naysayers who are so pitiful, they can't lift themselves up, right? So all these people do is try to push others down. Why? Because if you push others down, you kind of increase the distance between you and the other person. You're not elevating yourself if you push others down, but you increase the distance and, they believe their own lies. Narcissistic people, psychopaths, antagonistic people, they believe their own lies, right? They're so used to their own bullshit because nobody ever called them out on their own bullshit, that they kind of began to make it a habit to believe their own lies. So they put others down in order to give themselves the false sense of elevation. By the false sense of elevation, because if you push someone else down, you're not elevating yourself. You're pushing the other person down. The distance between you and them is bigger because you push the other person down, but not because you lift yourself up, but because you push the other person down. That is very pitiful. That is very weak. And that's very disgusting, but it's what all narcissistic, antagonistic, psychopathic people do. And they need your permission for it, right? They need to, who do you think you are? Can you do this? Right? Shouldn't you go back behind the fence with the cattle? Things like that, right? No. You don't. And the most important thing is stay in your inner peace. Stay in your authenticity. Stay humble. Don't get cocky, right? But you've got everything for whatever you want to do in your life in the next 20 years, most likely. This is a 2026 reading. You're laying the foundation for the next 20 years, basically. Say it out loud with me together, right? Because when I say you made it, then I'm meaning exactly that. I am grateful that my suffering did not turn me into those who inflicted it upon me. Right? I'm grateful that my suffering did not turn me into those who inflicted it upon me. This chapter is over. Thank God. And you're moving on from this. Your ships are rolling in. You did your homework totally. Internally, externally. There's mastership in something of worldly affairs. Maybe you got a degree. Maybe you got work experience and expertise in something that you can totally work out, manifest in King of Pentacles energy, frequency, right? So there is, you got something going here. You got something, you know how to do something. There's an expertise and knowledge and mastership in how to get things done. Very practical, Pentacles energy. And there's the Emperor, which is all for kings rolled into one. And as if that wasn't enough, there's the Ten of Pentacles. So you're really manifesting what you want to do, right? So that mastership gets manifested. Beautiful. And you're going to meet the right people. There's also fortune after difficulty. Now the intrinsic side of the story is that you did your inner homework. You did meditation. You did breath work. You did not turn into one of those people, right, who inflicted suffering upon you, because they want you. That's how they recruit people, right? They can't reproduce, so to speak. Evil needs to set a seed within the new host, so to speak. So it's not about form. They need to break you. They need to make you so full of anger and frustration, or guilt, fear, shame, that leads to anger and frustration. And ultimately, they want you in hatred. And then you're one of them, right? Then you inflict it upon others. If you constantly live in hatred, in shame, guilt, fear, in insignificance, in, hating yourself, basically, which is pretty much the opposite of Philautia, the channel's name, right? If you live in that frequency of the narcissist, of the antagonist, of the psychopath, whatever, they recruit people by trying to break someone else into hatred, lower their frequency, and then overwhelm these people by this lower frequency. They turn other people into people like them by making them suffer through guilt, fear, shame, and ultimately hatred. And you did not fall for that, right? I am grateful that my suffering did not turn me into those who inflicted it upon me. Star card, wish granted from the universe, self-mastery, inner and outer. And now in 2026, whenever you find this reading, it's a seismic shift reading. The old circle is over since 2000, and let me think, 15, 16, right, the last 10 years, so to speak. That was the old big fat narcissistic abuse cycle. They had a ball, right? They had a great time, but this is over. This is coming to an end. And now it's our turn, right? Now it's our turn. And you're on it. You're totally blessed. Stay humble. Don't get cocky. Very important. And live your life again and bring what you've got to the table. Not to please people, not to impress anybody. You don't have anything to prove. You already made it internally, and you got this mastery, inner and outer, right? And now you just apply it. You really go for it. And you trust your feelings. If it's not a clear yes, then it's a clear no. Don't make it fit. And there is sadness, strangely enough, right? What is this all about? There may be some sadness at present, but this is also a sacred time. Reflect on that which really matters to you and cherish and treasure all that is meaningful in your life. In sorrow, there's also great beauty, for your sadness stems from a profound love built of precious memories that live forever in your heart and the hearts of those you love. Know that nothing truly ends, for you and everyone you love are eternal. Life will continuously unfold, change, and transform, but it will never cease. Every ending is also a new beginning in life's eternal wheel. Life is one continuous cycle. All the events of your life and all those who play a role in it are part of you forever. So, the backstory, definitely narcissistic abuse, right? Since 2008, probably, that was Pluto in Capricorn. It's over now. We got Pluto in Aquarius, which is so much nicer for every decent human being, right? The narcissists won't like it, but to hell with them. Who cares, right? Don't go for revenge, but you don't need to be a friend with an asshole who tried to bring you down, right? Why would you do that? So let them do their thing, you do your thing. Your thing means that you might have had to make a decision to leave a few of these toxic people behind. In the last, definitely since 2016, 15, 16, so the last 9-10 year cycle, we were challenged and you were fighting, like all of us were fighting, this kind of spiritual warfare that has been going on. Maybe you lost people, maybe you lost aspects of yourself, maybe you had to give up things, career, friendships, family, things like that. There's a sadness to it, but it's better. It's better because you needed to come in alignment with your highest self, right? And here you are. Empress, Emperor, King of Pentacles, Hierophant, Ten of Pentacles. That alone is so beautiful, right? So you got it all, right? And the Star card is here as well. Wish fulfilled from the universe. And sometimes there's a little sadness because you obviously had to sacrifice a few things. Dolphin spirit, this and that is true. There are many stories. There's even a story of the narcissist, right? Even the story of the narcissist has its value, but, you know, I'm going deeper into this maybe in other readings. There's an upward spiral and there's a downward spiral. And Tattvamasi, right? Both aspects are an expression of the divine. So, but this is definitely for the upward spiral people, right? So, I'm not going to defend the downward spiral on this channel. That's for others to do, not for me. This and that is true. Dolphin spirit is a reminder that Tattvam Asi, even the narcissistic people, even the antagonistic people, even the darker aspects of this universe have their divine right to be there. But you're under no obligation to join the dark side, right? You're under no obligation to join the downward spiral. You made a choice, and maybe you had to get rid of a few people, a few relationships, maybe a job, maybe a career, something like that, to really make that choice. But you made it. You made your choice in the last 8-9 years, and it looks pretty good. There's a little sadness for what you had to give up to get here. Yeah. And there's the reminder that even the darker aspects of the universe have their divine right to be here, right? Tattvam Asi and that too. But you still have to make a choice. And you did. For the light side, for the upward spiral, for the highest expression of yourself, for tidying up your subconsciousness, meditation, breathwork daily, do that. And don't get cocky, stay humble, and be a good teacher and create what you want to create. And be a blessing, right? The Star card, you're blessed, but you also called to be a blessing. That's a big reading. And that's the next 20 years. There you go. Sagittarius, I'm happy for you. And if you want, check out the Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about. There's a yearly reading, there's a summer reading for 2026. And hopefully see you next time. Now, my friend. Ciao.